I am Eudora. I am 59 years old. I live alone in my small house on the edge of Rockford, Illinois. The house is old, but it holds every memory I have left. My husband passed away 8 years ago. Since that day, the rooms feel too big and the nights feel too quiet. I wake up early every morning. I make coffee in the same blue mug he used to love. I clean the floors until they shine. I cook simple meals for one. In the evening, I sit by the window and watch the streetlights come on. No one knocks on my door. No one calls my name. My only son is Silas. He moved to Los Angeles many years ago. He has a good job there. He has a big house with a pool in the backyard. He has a wife named Juniper and 2 children. Lennox is 10 and Celine is 7. They live a busy life full of sunshine and opportunities. I am happy for them, but I am here alone. Silas calls once in a while. Sometimes he sends money through the mail. Sometimes he says, "Mom, I will come see you soon." But soon never arrives. Still I wait. I love him more than anything. I keep his old school pictures in a box by my bed. Every day I open that box and look at his smile. I touch the paper and remember when he was small and needed me. One cold afternoon in early spring, the doorbell rang. I was not expecting anyone. I wiped my hands on my apron and walked to the door. When I opened it, my heart nearly stopped. There stood Silas. He looked tired from the long flight, but he smiled at me. "Mom," he said softly. I could not speak. Tears filled my eyes right away. I pulled him into a hug and held him tight. His coat smelled like airport and rain. I whispered, "You really came." He nodded and hugged me back. We walked inside together. The house felt warmer already. I made tea the way he liked it when he was a boy. We sat at the kitchen table. I asked about Juniper and the children. He said they were all fine and growing fast. Lennox loved soccer now. Celine drew pictures every day. I smiled and felt proud even though I had never seen those pictures in person. Then I asked the question I was afraid to ask. "Why did you come all this way, Silas?" He looked down at his cup for a moment. His voice was gentle. "I missed you, Mom. You are here all alone in this old house. I worry about you every single day. I want to take you back to Los Angeles with me." I stayed quiet. The words hung in the air. He kept talking. "You are getting older. The winters here are hard. The house needs repairs you cannot do anymore. In California, you will have your own room with a big window. You can watch the children every day. Juniper wants you there too. She says the kids need their grandma." I felt my chest tighten. This house was where I got married. This house was where Silas took his first steps. This house was where I held my husband's hand on his last day. I told Silas, "This is my home. I cannot just leave it behind." He looked serious but kind. "I know it is hard, Mom, but the house is too old now. It is not safe for you alone. You deserve comfort and family around you. We can sell it and use the money for your new life. You will be happy there, I promise." That night, I could not sleep. I sat in the dark living room and thought for hours. I loved my son. He was all I had left. Maybe he was right. Maybe it was time. The next morning, Silas made breakfast for us. He said we should call a real estate agent right away. I agreed, even though my heart felt heavy. The real estate agent was a man named Everett. He came to the house 2 days later. He walked through every room and took notes. He said the market was good and we could get a fair price. I showed him the backyard where Silas used to play. Everett was patient and polite. He understood this was not just a house, it was my life. We listed it that same week. People came to look at it. I stood in the kitchen and listened to strangers talk about paint colors and new kitchens. It hurt more than I expected. My neighbor Phineas stopped by one evening. He was an older man who had lived next door for 20 years. He brought me a plate of fresh cookies. He said, "I heard you are selling, Eudora. I will miss our morning talks over the fence." I hugged him and cried a little. Phineas had helped me fix the roof after a storm last year. He had been like a brother since my husband passed. We sat on the porch and remembered old times. He told me it was okay to start a new chapter. His words gave me strength. The house sold faster than I thought. Silas handled all the papers. He said I did not need to worry about anything. I packed my bags slowly. I folded my favorite sweater. I wrapped my late husband's old watch in a soft cloth. I found letters Silas wrote me when he was in college. I read every one and cried quietly. I packed photos of the children even though I had never met them in person. Silas helped carry boxes to the car. He seemed excited. I tried to feel the same. The morning we left for the airport, the sky was gray. We drove to Chicago O'Hare International Airport. The drive took almost 2 hours. Silas talked about the pool in his backyard and how Celine wanted to learn to swim. I listened and nodded. Inside, I felt a mix of sadness and hope. We reached the airport and parked. Silas carried my small suitcase. The terminal was loud and busy with people rushing everywhere. We checked the flight time. It was on schedule. Silas stopped near the security line. He looked at me gently. "Mom, the walk to the gate is very long. You cannot walk that far with your bad knee. Wait right here on this bench. I will get a wheelchair for you. It will only take 5 minutes." I smiled and said, "Okay." I sat down and watched him walk away. He turned once and waved. I waved back. 10 minutes passed. I checked my watch. 15 minutes. I told myself the line was probably long. 30 minutes passed. My stomach started to feel strange. I stood up and looked toward the security area. I did not see him. 45 minutes passed. My hands began to shake. I whispered to myself, Silas would not not leave me. He is my son. 1 hour passed. I felt cold all over. People hurried by me, but none of them was my son. Just then, a police officer walked toward me. He had kind eyes and a calm face. He asked, "Ma'am, are you waiting for someone?" I told him yes. My son Silas was getting a wheelchair. We were flying to Los Angeles together. He asked if I had a photo of my son. I took out the picture from my purse. I also showed him my ticket. The officer nodded and said he would check inside. He told me to wait right there. I sat back down. My heart beat faster and faster. I prayed silently. Please let this be a mistake. Please let Silas come back. The minutes felt like hours. Finally, the officer returned. His face looked serious. He sat beside me on the bench. He spoke very softly. "Ma'am, I am sorry. Your son has already gone through security. He boarded the plane alone. The flight to Los Angeles has taken off." I froze. The world around me went quiet. I said slowly, "No, that cannot be right. Silas loves me. He said he would take me with him." The officer stayed quiet for a moment. He looked at the floor, then back at me. I saw the security camera. He did not ask for a wheelchair. He walked straight to the gate. Tears came fast. I could not stop them. I cried right there in the noisy airport. The officer's eyes grew wet too. He said, "Some people forget what matters most. I am so sorry, ma'am." He stayed with me while I cried. He did not rush me. After a while, he spoke again. "My name is Roderick. I work security here at O'Hare. You remind me of my own mother. She passed 5 years ago. When I look at you, I see her strength." I wiped my eyes. I told him my name was Eudora. He said, "Eudora, you cannot stay here. You will get sick from the worry. Please come with me. My wife Callista is kind. She will make you something warm to eat. Our home is not far." I said I did not want to be a burden. He smiled and said, "It is not a burden. It is the right thing to do." Roderick called his wife on the phone. I heard her voice answer. He told her he had found an older woman alone at the airport. Her son had left her behind. Callista said yes right away. She told him to bring me home. Roderick helped me stand. He carried my small bag. We walked to his car in the parking garage. The drive to their house in Evanston was quiet. I looked out the window at the city lights. I felt empty inside. When we arrived, Callista opened the door before we even knocked. She was a warm woman with gentle hands. She hugged me like we had known each other for years. She said, "You are safe here, Eudora. Come inside and rest." Their house smelled like fresh bread and cinnamon. She led me to a cozy bedroom with soft blankets. I sat on the edge of the bed and cried again. Callista sat beside me and held my hand. She did not ask questions. She just let me feel what I needed to feel. That night, I slept in a real bed for the first time in what felt like forever. The next morning, Callista made pancakes. Roderick joined us at the table. They talked to me like family. They asked about my life in Rockford. I told them about my late husband and the garden we used to grow. I told them about Silas as a little boy. They listened with kind eyes. Later that morning, Roderick stepped into another room for a phone call. His voice was low. When he came back, his face looked different. I asked if everything was okay. He smiled and said yes, but I saw something heavy in his eyes. I did not know then that the flight Silas took had crashed over the mountains. There were no survivors. Roderick had learned the news, but he chose not to tell me. He knew I still loved my son. He knew the truth would break what was left of my heart. The days turned into weeks. I stayed with Roderick and Callista. Roderick took me to see a doctor named Merritt. Dr. Merritt checked my blood pressure and gave me new medicine. Roderick paid for everything. He drove me to the pharmacy and waited while I got my pills. Callista cooked meals I loved. She taught me how to make her special apple pie. We baked together in the kitchen and laughed when flour got on our noses. Their home became my home. I started to feel light again. One afternoon, I sat in their backyard. The sun was warm on my face. Lennox and Celine would never know their grandma lived with strangers now, but these strangers had become more than friends. They had become family. Roderick came outside and sat beside me. He asked if I ever thought about going back to Rockford. I looked at the flowers Callista had planted. I said, "I lost that house, but I found a new one here. Silas is gone, but I got the son I truly deserved." Roderick's eyes filled with tears. He hugged me tight. Callista joined us and we held each other for a long time. I still pray for Silas every night. I pray for Juniper and the children too. I pray that no mother ever feels the pain I felt at that airport bench. But I also pray with a grateful heart. I found love in the most unexpected place. I found people who saw me and stayed. Life can be cruel. It can take away what you hold dear. But sometimes it gives you something even better. I am Eudora. I am no longer alone. I am home. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who needs to feel seen. Tell us in the comments what you would do if you were in my place. And subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories that remind us love can find us when we least expect it.